Welcome to Nice and Blunt. It's Thursday, April 4th, and it's time for a mock draft on Underdog. Before we kick it off, though, we're also going to talk about that Stefon Diggs trade and how it affects the Texans and the Bills. Let's go. All right, so here we are on Underdog. You can use my code as I've listed down below in the chat. If you'd like to join me, you can get your first deposit matched up to $100 on sign up. Use my link, use my code, and hopefully we can draft together. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and, don't miss out on when we go live and all our future videos here on the channel. But let's talk about the Texans. Let me pull up Stefon Diggs here on Pro Football Reference and show you why I don't think it should be any shock why the Bills were willing to move off of him. Last year, oh my God, he really fell off a cliff in the second half of the season once they changed their offensive coordinator. The first 10 weeks started out pretty good, especially the first 6. He had 5 games with over 100 yards receiving, but starting in week 10, damn, these stat lines are brutal. 3 for 34, 4 for 27, 6 for 74 and a touchdown against Philly. Their secondary was terrible last year, so he should have gone off. But that was really his best game the rest of the way. 4 for 24, 4 for 48, 5 for 29, 4 for 26, 7 for 87. Not a single touchdown after week 12. And then even in the playoffs, 7 for 52 against Pittsburgh, and then against the Chiefs, 3 for 21. Not the same player. So they can replace him. I don't feel like the Bills are going to be that much worse. I feel like while their weapons are definitely questionable, I think they are going to be pivoting towards the run a little bit more. And Kincaid is definitely going to step up. But James Cook, I think, is really the main piece, big weapon for them. Let's take a look at his game log real quick. He had some elite games starting in week 10. They changed offensive coordinators starting week 11, but over 100 yards from scrimmage against Denver, and then the same thing the next 4 straight weeks. So he was very, very important. Not a lot of touchdowns, though. Thankfully, he scored some receiving touchdowns, but it was really that Dallas game where he was super dominant, 25 touches on the ground, 179 yards, and a touchdown, another 2 catches, 42 yards, and his second touchdown. After that, though, less than 100 yards from scrimmage in every other game, kind of stayed around 70 in the regular season, and then around 80 in the playoffs. So expect James Cook to be a consistent role player for this offense, but I don't know if he's like elite. I think where he's going in the top 15 is like appropriate. And I don't know if I'd reach on him considerably, but I would be very, very interested in Dalton Kincaid, who's going to operate as almost like their number 1 wide receiver. He was getting a ton of targets when Dawson Knox was out, so expect that to continue. We'll pull up his game log real quick. But I also have them projected to draft A.D. Mitchell in the first round. They're definitely taking a wide receiver early in this draft, and I wouldn't be shocked at all to see them taking a second one, maybe in round 3 or even later. There's a lot of depth at that position this year, and I think they may even trade up for a guy like A.D. Mitchell. I'd be shocked if they traded for Brian Thomas, because they would need to move up into the teens. I think they need to jump Jacksonville to be safe, because if Jacksonville doesn't take him, I feel like the Bengals might take Brian Thomas at pick number 18. So that would be hefty compensation. They lost cap space by getting rid of Diggs, and I don't know if they have the budget to do that. They also got rid of a lot of defensive players this offseason. So the Bills are going to be a very different team, but I think a staple in that offense, someone you can expect to shine, would be Dalton Kincaid. This is his game log, where after his inactive game in week 6, he returned with no Dawson Knox. He was very productive for a few weeks. Then he kind of fell off a season. A lot of games here with 50 plus receiving yards, 8 for 75, 5 for 65 and a touchdown, 10 for 81, 5 for 51. Then a bit of a slump weeks 11 through 16, but then closed out with 4 for 87, 7 for 84. Very high catch percentage as well. Closed it out on the year with an 80.2% catch percentage. He is the safety valve for Josh Allen. But let's talk about the Texans real quick because I think this is overall not ideal for Tank Dell. I feel like Tank Dell, who got injured in the first week of December, is the big loser in terms of value. Like, he's coming off an ACL injury. That's not an easy thing to do. And as much as I like Tank Dell, I feel like Diggs really caps his value. And if there's one of these players that's going to miss out on the on the two wide receiver sets, excuse me, it would be Tank Dell most likely. I think Nico Collins, who I do think got a contract extension earlier, is definitely involved and a big piece for them. But Diggs going to have 1 year as the alpha, as the number one. And the two of them, Diggs and Nico Collins, going around the 2-3 turn, I think is appropriate. But Tank Dell definitely needs to lower himself in the rankings. I think that's definitely an overpriced draft pick in mid round 3. CJ Stroud, however, to the moon. CJ Stroud is going to be dominant. That's why I have him on the thumbnail for this video. But those are my opinions on the Bills and the Texans, and we can get back to business, what we came here for. So you guys are about 10 seconds delayed from my live feed, but we will be getting to the big board, the $10 tournament. So I'm going to give you a heads up on when I'm going to hit the button, when I think you should hit the button if you want to join me. But before we do that, just a reminder on the rules. This is a half PPR 12-team league, and you have a 1 in 4 chance of advancing to the playoffs, getting your $10 buy-in back. So that's pretty good. 25% chance to at least break even. And, if you do win, I believe first place is $200K. That's obviously a nice prize. But it's half PPR, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, 12 bench spots, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback, total of 20 rounds in this draft. So if you hit it now, I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to get in, and hopefully we can... Oh, no. Well, I'm having a little issue. I may have to... Okay, it's not picking up my location. So I may have to get in on my phone and then hop in. I've had this problem once or 2 times before. On the computer, sometimes it doesn't read my location properly. So give me 1 second. Okay, if you hop in now, apologies for the delay. I'm going to enter right now. And it appears to be rolling. There are 5 spots open in this draft now. 4 if you would now 3 if you'd like to join me. Please do. I'd be very happy to see some members of the chat, anyone watching this video, to be in the draft lobby as well. So hope to see you there. We still have 3 spots. And yeah, let's see how that goes. But let's check the chat. Howard, good to see it. Nice haircut. Bro, I got my haircut like 3 months ago, like back in January. You're pretty late to the party here. A little bit late with this comment, man. But this draft will fill soon enough, and we will get going. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab a little water, just so I can stay hydrated, and I will be right back. I will be right back. All right. 2 spots open. I will put the timestamp when I post this video, so you don't have to sit through all of this. But oh, looks like somebody dipped out. We're back to 3. It is what it is. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll fill you in when this thing is filled, but we do have a few moments for this thing to get going. You're sorry? It's all right, bro. No problem. Not an issue. We are waiting for one person. Oh, now the draft is filled. There we go. We are full. Let's go. Howard's asking, when should I draft Mixon? I think it depends on where you are drafting him. If you're in a tournament, at this point, I don't think you should draft Mixon, because where he was going a few weeks ago in the same tournament was way, way cheaper. Like, I remember taking him with one of my first big board teams at pick like 89, 90, almost like 92. I remember him falling to me super late. So now he's going like round 5. And while I do think that that's totally appropriate, if you're doing it in the tournament, you're at a big disadvantage because everybody that drafted a month ago got him on the cheap almost like 3 rounds later. So in the tournament, as much as I want to draft Mixon, I'm actually avoiding him. But if you're doing like a 12 teamer, then I wouldn't be afraid to reach on him, honestly, at like inside the top 50. Like, I think he's on par with Pacheco. I think he could easily be a top 10 running back. I feel like he's almost in a better situation in Houston than he was in Cincinnati. In the Bengals backfield, there was at least Chase Brown to worry about. Dameon Pierce in Houston, not a concern at all. They also extended him in Houston. He's the clear number 1, and I think he's going to be very, very productive. So I wouldn't be afraid to reach on Mixon if it was a 12-team format. However, in the tournament, I think at this moment in time, he's probably not on your board. At least he's not on my board, because it's just such a overpay compared to other teams you're competing with who drafted a month ago. So that's my stance on it. It really depends on where you're drafting him. But when it comes time, like for, August, September, when everything's going to kick off, I feel like top 50, very appropriate. I think late 4th, on pace with Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco. I think around there. You can honestly argue for him over Derrick Henry. That'd be a little pricey for me, but I think he's in the tier right below Derrick Henry. 4th round, I think, is very appropriate value. So to get him at pick 60, I think is still cheaper than what I'm willing to pay. I think he's going to be really good. I think at worst he's top 15. He put up like 1,400 plus yards last year, and wouldn't be shocked if that happened again. Caught a lot of passes. We got a minute before we're back on the clock, so let's remind you Mixon's stats. This was in Cincinnati, obviously, but 1,034 rushing yards last year and 52 catches, 376 yards, a total of 12 touchdowns. Wouldn't shock me if he did something close to that once again. But the Texans want to use him. He's a great pass catcher. If he gives you another 50 catches, late 4th round is appropriate, but anywhere in the 5th, great spot. But at pick 2, we have a very good spot in this draft. I went with CeeDee Lamb and with like no competition in Dallas. I like him a lot there. I think that's a good investment. I think as the wide receiver one, you're not really going to be upset with taking CeeDee Lamb. He's younger than Tyreek Hill by like 6 years almost. He's still like 24. Jamar has more competition, and Jamar kind of fell off a little bit with Joe Burrow. Dak's in a contract year as well. So I think Lamb is at worst wide receiver two. You can argue for him at pick number one overall because there's definitely much more injury risk with CMC as opposed to CD Lamb. So I'm very happy to start off with CD Lamb on my team. Any anytime I can get him, I am not passing it up. If he falls to me at pick three, I'm gonna do it. Um, I'd be willing to take him at number one. However, if you want any stock in Christian McCaffrey, then you pretty much have to take him when you're picking at number one. So I've done it a few times where even though I'm tempted to pass on CeeDee Lamb, I still go with Christian McCaffrey just to get him on my team because he very rarely falls past the first overall pick. So um, that's what we did. But after our CeeDee Lamb, we see Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Bijan, Justin Jefferson, Brees Hall, Amon-Ra St. Brown at pick 8. I need more Amon-Ra. I feel like I'm not invested in St. Brown enough as of yet. And if JJ McCarthy does indeed become the Vikings draft pick, their quarterback, I feel like I could possibly talk myself into St. Brown over Justin Jefferson. Possibly. I don't think I'm gonna do that, but I think there's an argument. Whoa, holy shit! I picked 12. Pick 12 went with Josh Allen. Like what? That feels reckless. That is not a move I would make. I was in a draft yesterday. Granted, it was a 12 teamer, and I saw Josh Allen fall to pick 31. I feel like Josh Allen should be dropping in the ADP, not rising. Whew. That is wild. Yeah, his ADP is at 24. That's a full round reach. Whoa. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. Then he goes JT, Jonathan Taylor. I do like Jonathan Taylor in the early second round. Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Team 10 going with double running back. Interesting strategy. We've drafted a lot of Rashad White and Isaiah Pacheco on the live streams. I feel like it's mainly because of where we're drafting, and I feel like it's probably going to happen again here. I feel like I'm not going with running back. The only one that's like appropriate to take in the second round in terms of ADP is like Devon Achane, and I fucking hate taking Devon Achane in the second round. So we're definitely going with wide receiver, and we're probably taking another receiver at pick 26. But after Saquon, we see Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and now pick 18. Am I freezing? There's a bit of lag. Pick 18 goes Nico Collins. Is it just me or is it kind of slow? Like, there's a lot of teams timing out. Yeah, there's a slight delay with my connection, I feel. Then we see Drake London and Stefon Diggs. Okay. I'm not opposed to Adams here. We've taken Ayuk before. That's probably what we're going to do. Okay. So Ayuk is the highest on ADP. But we have this team already. Last time we drafted, we took CeeDee Lamb, then Ayuk. I don't want to do the same thing again. So, nah, he's the best player. Yeah, I'm going to end up doing it again. I don't really want to, but he's the best player. We're taking Ayuk. Come on. Okay. We won't be taking Mike Evans in the third round again, though. That one, well, I do think it's the correct pick. I'm not going to do it. Probably going to go Chris Olave. Pittman, I also like. Definitely not taking Tank Dell, not Rashee Rice. We're not reaching on them. Could we reach on Josh Jacobs? I don't think it's egregious, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think there's going to be more touchdowns for Mike Evans, but we already have this combo. So I'm going to change my third round pick from last draft. We're taking Chris Olave instead. It is my turn to pick. What is going on here? This thing is slow. We got him. All right. It is what it is. Let us know in the chat where you think we should have gone. Should have gone Mike Evans? Is that the correct pick? I think it is. Otherwise, it's the only other one I'm like considering there would be Michael Pittman. Neighbors you could have gotten like around later. I'm worried he goes to the Giants, so that would be a bummer. If he goes to the Chargers, if he goes to, I feel like the Chargers are the only spot for him in the top 10 where you're like happy about it, comfortable. But I'd be shocked to see Neighbors go over Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be kind of shocking. What round should James Conner be drafted? I think where he's going is appropriate. I think 8th round. Is that 8th round? Where is he? James Conner picks 79. That would be the 7th round. Okay, yeah, but I think that's fair. I think right behind Montgomery is appropriate. He's getting older. They might draft a running back, but I think he has one more year as the top dog there, and I think 7th round is very appropriate. Bit of a cop-out type of answer because that's just where his ADP is, but I think that's totally legit. I'd take him over Ramondre Stevenson for sure, but I think him and Nick Chubb are... I could argue for Nick Chubb over him. And Nick Chubb's going a little bit later. So I think 7th round is appropriate. Nick Chubb's going in the 8th. I think he should be a 7th round pick. But so far everything is pretty traditional, except for that Josh Allen pick. That was wild. But Laporte at pick 30. Tank Dell at 29, as we mentioned earlier in the video. Too early. Should fall at least a round. At least. If not more. Wow, Team 10 really loading up on running back. Goes Josh Jacobs. I thought about Jacobs at 26, but we did not take him. And there may be a bit of a run on running back in round 4. We may get stuck with like Pacheco, which is not an issue. But I'd be comfortable with James Cook. I'd love if Etienne or Derrick Henry fell to me, but I doubt that'll happen. Last time we took Rachaad White, we're probably going to go Pacheco. But coming back around, I like the Mahomes value. Mahomes in round 5 is insane to me. I know he was kind of bad last year, but boy. Adding Marquise Brown, his receivers are much better this time around. He was going at the top of round 3, if not late round 2 last year. So to fall to round 5, like 30 picks, that is a great value. Because he'll probably bounce back. Whoa, Team 10 is just going all in at running back. That's really interesting. They go Kyron, Saquon, Jacobs, Derrick Henry to start. If they take like even one more running back in this draft, that's almost crazy. Like it would need to be round like 15 or later. Their receiver position is going to look like shit. I'm going to be very interested to see what their receiver position looks like after like 5 rounds or so. By the end of this draft, it's going to be brutal. Okay. ETN's off the board, so we may get lucky to have Pacheco available to us. We might get priced out of the position because of Team 10 strategy very early. That's one thing to be mindful of, like when one of the teams goes so heavily towards one position, like whether it's like doubling up on quarterback early or tight end early, or in this case, quadrupling on running back, there's going to be a big run on that position. And sometimes that does justify elevating certain players in that same position where you normally wouldn't like take them. You may have to take them a little bit higher. So if I have to reach on Mixon at pick 50 or even 47, I'd be very upset because we told you earlier when Howard asked that question, like, when should we draft Mixon? In the tournament, it's not ideal to be drafting Mixon where he's going. So to take him even higher, yikes. But we see CJ Stroud go at pick 44, quarterback 3 off the board, to the team that has Tank Dell and Diggs. This team is all in on Houston. Boy, that's interesting. I can justify the Stroud selection. I can't justify the Tank Dell selection. I may get lucky to have Pacheco. Not happy about it. But oh, okay, we're on the clock. I thought I thought I wasn't on the clock. Yeah, I just have to do it. I can't take the risk that Pacheco is not available after Team 1 takes their players. Just have to do it. And last time we were on the live stream, we were getting a lot of heat to grab Pacheco. So he's our RB1. I have him in so many of these tournaments. I have like, this is my 7th tournament roster, and I feel like I have Pacheco in like 4 of them. Like, heavily invested in Pacheco. With Rashee Rice and his situation, that's not a bad investment though. I'm not upset about it. But I likely take Mahomes. Keenan's falling though. I'm worried that they draft Odunze, and there's even more competition for him in that wide receiver room. Probably gonna go Mahomes because I don't want to. I don't want to reach. Oh wow, Mixon goes 49. We can't. We don't even have that opportunity. Wow. Okay. Do I just go Keenan? Oh no, we just timed out. Yeah. Damn. I'm like upset about this lag that's going on. But at least we had him queued up. I definitely need to use the queue in order to get it done properly. But okay, we have our Chiefs stack. Pacheco and Mahomes. I think that's a better selection than Keenan. I'm worried about Keenan now. If my mock draft is relatively accurate and the Chicago Bears do go with Odunze at pick 9, Keenan would be in a rough spot. Very rough. But I'm super comfortable with Mahomes in the 5th round. That feels bust proof. Quarterback 5 off the board. That's his floor. I think so. I think he's going to be much better than he was last year. Christian Kirk off at 53. Zay Flowers 52. Keenan now finally off the board at pick 54. Team 6 going to be ugly at running back. But pretty stacked at receiver. Keenan as your 4th option isn't bad. He would have been our 4th option, but I prefer Mahomes. McBride off the board. I'm so curious to see what Team 10. I feel like they might go with their 5th running back. Pickens off at 56. Amari Cooper. Is Christian Kirk the number 1 target for the Jags? I think he is, Howard. I think he is. Him and Evan Ingram are definitely on par for similar volume. Definitely like 130 targets apiece. I think it all just depends on who they draft at receiver. If they wait until round 2 to take a receiver, then yeah, Kirk and Ingram are locked in to being like bust-proof picks where they're going. If they go with Brian Thomas, as I believe they will at pick 17, Kirk is still a value there, but I don't know if he would be the number 1 the entire year. He definitely starting off the season as the number 1. I don't worry about Gabe Davis, not at all. He'll get some targets, but he's not going to be a threat to Christian Kirk and that target share. I would say Evan Ingram is the bigger concern. Boy, Team 12 with an interesting strategy as well. Double up on tight end, a reach on Kyle Pitts. I guess that's somewhat where he's actually going, but I got him. Yeah, his ADP is 63. I got him yesterday or 2 days ago at 75. Pitts fell to 75 to me recently, and I was very happy about that. So Okay, Team 10 finally takes their first receiver, and it's Calvin Ridley, and that is gross. That is disgusting. I would not have passed on Jaden Reed if I was Team 10, but I'm not. They can do what they want. I definitely have rather have Dalton Kincaid over Kyle Pitts. So Team 12 also not a strategy I'm loving. But we would like to see running backs not go off in the next 5 picks. That is not what we want. We would love ourselves some Kamara. We would love some. We're not upset with James Conner. But if we could get Brian Thomas, if we could get Marquise Brown, highly doubt that happens. We would be living. This is annoying. I don't know if you can see what, like, this person clearly timed out, and we still don't have their pick loaded. So that's what's messing with me in this draft. I don't know if it's because I joined on my phone. Okay. Okay, so we're going running back very likely here with our 6th-round pick. I don't really want Aaron Jones. We took Dave Montgomery last time. I think that's what I'm going to do. Nah. I'm going to go James Conner, actually. The Vikings don't use the running back position. They just don't. And Aaron Jones is pretty old at this point. I believe he's entering his age 30 season. He always misses some games. I'm going with James Conner. Like you were asking earlier, I think he's appropriate in round 7. So to get him at 6'11", not much different. But I think we got to push up some running backs because there's going to be a huge run on the position on the long turn. I'm very comfortable with my receivers with CeeDee Lamb, Ayuk, and Olave. And so we would go Montgomery, but I need the Q. This is annoying as hell. Yeah, it didn't even load until we freaking timed out. Thankfully, we're using the Q, but this is kind of egregious at this point. I'm not happy about it. I feel like this is our most dull live stream draft, and it's because of this issue. So I don't know what's going on, but this shit is pissing me off. And it's just slow. Like everyone's taking 30 seconds, I feel. Howard, who's number 1, Jaden Reed or Christian Watson? I think it's Jalen Reed. I think it's Jalen Reed. It's not like far off between Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, but Watson just doesn't stay healthy. Watson has the higher upside, but I think Jaden Reed has the much safer floor, and I'm comfortable taking Jaden Reed at the middle of the fifth where he's going. Whereas I do think Christian Watson here around 7 is a great value. I think you could argue for Christian Watson above Jordan Addison. Round 6 is not bad. But I think I'd feel much safer with Jaden Reed just because Watson gets hurt so much. Okay. So following our Montgomery selection, we see Hopkins, then Kittle, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Kyler Murray, and the team with Trey McBride does get that stack. That's pretty nice. They did get sniped on Marvin Harrison, though. That triple stack would have been ideal. Now Ramondre goes. Mostert off the board. I think I'm going to be very satisfied to have my 3 running backs here because while this pick is not going to be running back, it's team 10. The next 12, the next round, I could easily envision 6 to 8 running backs off the board. That's my prediction. Given the lack of depth at the position, like this team is absolutely taking 1, if not 2. Team 11 is going to grab a running back. They're going to fly off the board. Okay. Whoa. A reach on Herbert as his 3rd quarterback. Team 12 is just insane. Terrible, terrible team. Just irrelevant picks. I don't get the strategy at all of Team 12. They go Allen, Taylor, Cup, Kelsey, Pitts, Burrow, Herbert. And now who are they taking? Schultz. Another type. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? I mean, I guess it helps me. I'm that much more likely to win this, at least advance in this league. I feel like there's 2 teams I'm like not competing with, Team 10 and Team 12. But like, I don't understand why you just burn $10 for no reason. Very strange. Team 10 just leaning into the risk with another quarterback. Yeah, I feel like those 2 teams are just out of it. When you need to start 3 receivers and you only have 1 through the first 8 rounds, your odds of success are just so low. But I told you I'm confident Adonai Mitchell is a Buffalo Bill. So we're gonna look to him. We're also gonna look to Mike Williams. I can't quit me Mike Williams. But Jake Ferguson, I'd be very happy with. The team after us has Andrews, so maybe we'll avoid Jake Ferguson at the top of the queue. I think receiver would be more important. If somehow Christian Watson's available, I'll take Watson. But now is the run on running back. I predicted 6 of them would go, and so far we've seen 4 of them. Love me some Nick Chubb this late. The upside on Chubb is just so remarkably high. Warren I liked a lot more before they added Cordell Patterson. I feel like Arthur Smith is just going to screw us over by bringing him in. Javonte, kind of a quiet winner of free agency. It's just how much do you trust the Broncos? But another year removed from his injury. I think I got to go receiver here, though, given Team 1 only has 2. Boy, this thing is just so slow. It's not loading. Man, I'm not happy with the quality of this live stream, of this draft. Not our best, but I feel like this is just beyond what I can control. Is that the case on my phone too? Like, yeah, even on the phone, it's like this. I feel like both my picks have gone off at this point. This is egregious. I think I might have to end this live stream just because this is so disappointing. The technical difficulties I'm dealing with. I feel like I'm not that engaging. The beginning of the video where we talked about the Diggs trade is definitely valuable, but wow. Okay, we get Christian Watson. He's actually available to us. That's great value. And if Chubb is somehow there. Come on. Okay. Yeah, we're going with Chubb. We're taking Chubb. All right. I'll accept our fate, but boy, this is annoying. I'm tired of this shit. It just keeps clocking out. And then we don't even get to do it. So, I'm going to call this live stream over. Apologies. Hope the beginning of the video was valuable to you. But yeah, this is just pissing me off. I don't think it's like a quality video. But Reflect the Sun is here. Honestly, I don't think you missed much, man. This video is not the best one just because the website is screwing me over. Like you can see the timer. It's at zeros and it's just not changing. I feel like everyone's timing out. The pace of this draft is super slow, and then I don't even get to see what like the picks are. Like I have to use the queue on all these picks. It's not registering in time for me to actually make the selection. So I think I got to move on. Not fun, not ideal, but yeah. I think that's gonna be it. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, if you had a good one. But hopefully we'll do one either this weekend or Monday, and everything will be much better. But that's gonna be it for me. I'll see you next time. I'll just remind you our team real quick. Um, we had the number 2 pick, and we started off with C.D. Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave. Then we went Pacheco, Mahomes. We reached on James Conner, but to just guarantee we had a comfortable situation at running back. Then we went David Montgomery, and Christian Watson fell to us along with Nick Chubb in the 9th round. That is our team at the moment. But yeah, that's it for this video, and I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.